Hey everyone, and welcome to my February Cat-Walk TBR video. It is very early when I am filming this. Today is January 9th. So I have, let me show you. So right now I am currently reading The Chestnut Man for my Cat-Walk TBR. This was for the fourth prompt that I came up with. It has about 516 pages. I am at 282. I will definitely finish this book this week, as well as the next book after this that I have to read is a graphic novel. That's all I'm going to say about that. And that is definitely less than 200 pages. So that and the final book for my Cat-Walk TBR will be done this week. So while I'm in the mood to film, I thought I would go ahead and film my February Cat-Walk TBR. Now, because I'm not done reading, I won't be going into detail with what I have read and what I thought and everything like that. I think I'm going to do just a separate kind of a Cat-Walk TBR wrap-up video. So keep an eye out for that. That will not obviously come out until February, but I thought, well, I can, let's get one to-do thing off of my plate and go ahead and film my February Cat-Walk TBR. So let's go ahead and get on into this. All right, so as you can see, we're trying a different little bit of a setup. I am in what we call our reading room or sewing room. I'm using my mom's sewing table. The sewing machine is put away, and it looks like this might actually work. So we will try this and see how it goes. So last time we ended up on Clouder, which is a book in a series. I am going to take this sticky note off because we are just going to generate each game a different place to start. And that will definitely randomize a little bit more what prompts I'm going to land on and go from there. So I have the random generator pulled up on my phone. So there are 49 spots, and let's figure out where we're going to be starting. We're going to be starting on space number 42. Now, because this setup looks like it's going to work this way, I did get the lighting is a little weird, but I will work on that for the next game. But this is my little mini Funko Pop of Crookshanks, which is Hermione's cat from Harry Potter, and I figure Cat-Walk TBR will use a little cat figurine. So we're starting on space number 42, which is right here. If I do it this way, there we go. We'll do it this way with him laying down so you can see, I don't know. He's just sitting there, and you're seeing the ears, but you know what it is. We'll just leave him like this, plain and simple. All right, now we're gonna try with these regular dice again, because I think with doing a dice generator, I'm not as likely to get doubles. And as much as I liked not getting doubles last time, it does take the risk of the game down a bit more. So I think the chances of doubles decrease with the dice generator app. And so rather than rolling manually, so we are going to roll manually. And I think what I'm going to do for the next round, so this is my I've got a little notebook I'm opening up here to write down the prompts that I get. And I think I'm going to transfer the numbers that I land on as well as the prompts to a notebook so it's all in one place and just be easier to keep track of. Okay, so let's go ahead and do roll number 1. So a 3 and a 1, we got 4. Now I'm going to move that. Now, so we're on 42, so 43 is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Learn facts. First unread owned book. So we'll grab my phone and we'll go through Goodreads. Okay, so I'm just opening up Goodreads on my phone. All right, so here's Goodreads. I'm going to pull it down and let it refresh. So the first book listed here, As Good as Dead. I do not own that one. I do believe I own the second book, But let's see if there's another book that comes up that's either a standalone or someone else is listed. So let's just kind of see what happens, but I can come back to that one and just do the second in the series. Okay, so here's one that I want to read. There's a couple of here. I don't know if I own these, so I do have to check. So this one I do not own. And that was Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. Rock, Paper, Scissors, I do not think I own. No. And these could be ebooks, physical books. I don't have that one marked. This one I have marked. Okay. Wait, The Maze Cutter by James Dashner. I have The Maze Runner, but I do not own The Maze Cutter. That took me a second. So obviously I'm looking for these ones that are in green that say want to read, for those to be colored in. Oh wait, here's one. Someday Maybe. I do not own. There's that one. Let's see. The Cousins, I don't think I own that one either. I think I'm going to see a lot because I read, oh, see, I have this one marked as that I'm just intrigued by it. I don't know, Six of Crows. Now I have read that. Ninth House I have read. I am expecting this coming week, the second book. This Vicious Grace, I don't think I own. Nope. Here we go. The Selection. I know I have that book. I know exactly where it's sitting on my bookshelf. So this Selection is the first book in the Selection series by Kira Cass. There's the image of that. So that is what I will be reading for this prompt. So as you saw from that game, the first book was one where I landed on Goodreads, and that is To Learn Facts. So it's to scroll through Goodreads, and I read the first book I own that is unread. There was a potential to pick, because someone marked the third book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I read the first one, not the second. They marked the third one, so I could go with that series. But I just wanted to scroll down a little bit more, see if there was one that popped up that someone marked as reading or want to read, but in that feed there. And one did. And so that is The Selection by Kira Cass. I do actually like the cover on this. I like the beautiful gowns. I know this is the start of a series. This one says, in a world of glittering gowns and priceless jewels, The Selection is the chance of a lifetime to compete for gorgeous Prince Maxon's heart. But for America's singer, it means turning her back on her secret love and leaving home for a prize she doesn't want. Then America meets Maxon and all her plans start to crumble. Can the life she's always dreamed of compare to a future she never imagined? So it sounds pretty good. I don't really know what it's about other than that, and that it's a YA. So I'll be starting another series, and there we go, The Selection by Kira Cass. Okay, let's see. All right, roll. I want to make sure you're able to see the dice. Roll number 2. Okay, we have a 6 and a 4, so that is 10 spots. So 1, 2, 3, that's the end of that. Going back to number 1 here. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this prompt is See in the Dark, and this is to read an ebook. For this one, I'm actually still, while I have Goodreads pulled up, I'm going to go to my own Kindle TBR. Oh, right here it is. And I have almost 1,000 on here. Let's see. I could read Borne by VanderMeer. That actually sounds really good, or intrigues me. I have read the Annihilation series. Yes, I do own this on my Kindle. I think I'll do that. So I'm going to read Borne by Jeff VanderMeer. I read the Annihilation series on my Kindle and really liked Jeff VanderMeer's writing. And I've been kind of itching for something similar, so why not go back into Jeff VanderMeer's writing? So this will be the ebook that I pick. And then you saw me land on To See in the Dark, right? Yes, See in the Dark, which is to read an ebook. So I just pulled up Goodreads right there, and I'm going to go with Borne by Jeff VanderMeer. Now, let me tell you, I still actually have it pulled up on my phone. So this will be the first of a series, and it looks like there's 2 primary works in this series so far. These were both, let's see, so this one, Borne, was released in 2017, the second one in 2019. And I really enjoyed the Annihilation series by Jeff VanderMeer, so I expect this writing to be very odd, and we'll see. Now this is kind of a long synopsis, so I don't think I'll read all of this, but let's just read a little bit. It says, in a ruined, nameless city of the future, a woman named Rachel, who makes her living as a scavenger, finds a creature she names Borne. Entangled in the fur of Mord, a gigantic despotic bear. Mord once prowled the corridors of the biotech organization known as the Company, which lies at the outskirts of the city until he was experimented on, grew large, learned to fly, and broke free. Driven insane by his torture at the Company, Mord terrorizes the city even as he provides sustenance for scavengers like Rachel. At first, Borne looks like nothing at all, just a green lump that might be a Company discard. The Company, although severely damaged, is rumored to still make creatures and send them to distant places that have not yet suffered collapse. Borne somehow reminds Rachel of the island nation of her birth, now long lost to rising seas. She feels an attachment she resents. Attachments are traps, and in this world, any weakness can kill you. So that's all I'm going to read. It's like double that length. And I think it sounds great, and I'm kind of wondering if this takes place after the world in the Annihilation series. So that'll be interesting, and I am excited for that. We're already starting off with starting 2 brand new series, which I don't mind, honestly. All right, number 3. All right, we got a 5 and a 2, so we're moving 7 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Clouder. So this is the book to read a book that's in a series. So then we landed on Clouder, which is a group of cats. And this prompt is to read a book that is in a series. For this one, I'll be finishing a series. I have read, here's a hint for the wrap-up. I read the second book in this trilogy for the month of January, so that will be included in my monthly wrap-up. But this last book is going to be a Tangle of Spells by Michelle Harrison. I will not read the synopsis. Well, let me see if there's something I can read here. So this is the A Pinch of Magic series, and it's the 3rd one. And I am excited for this one. I know there's 3 sisters. Let me see if there's something that I can read on the back that goes directly with this particular book. It says, a dangerous spell cast over an unsuspecting village. An enchanted painting locked away in a secret room. A desperate race to reverse the spell before it's too late. So that sounds good, and I am excited to get back into this world and just finish this trilogy. That'll be good to mark a trilogy off of my list. A 4 and a 2, so we're moving 6 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Welcome Home. This is a debut book, so like a debut author or a new to me author, something like that. Okay, so then I landed on, it's the one that says with the welcome mat that says welcome home. The prompt is new home. So it's basically you've brought the cat home. They're brand new and you need to get to know them. So this is to read a debut book. Now this could be a new to me author or a new to me author in general, or well, a new to me author or a new author in general. So someone that's just put out their very first book. so a literal debut book, or just an author that's brand new to me that I've never read from. And this book actually fulfills both of those. So this is a debut book, and this is going to be a Futureland by H.D. Hunter. This I received in the December Owl Crate box. Was it December? I believe so. Yes, December. And it just sounds good and I want to get to it. And so this is definitely his debut novel. And it says, everyone wants a ticket to Futureland, the extraordinary flying park where you can literally live out your wildest dreams. Want to step inside your favorite video game? Go pro in a sports arena? Perform at a real-life concert? Grab your ticket and come right in. Yet with all its attractions, Futureland has always just been home to Cam Walker, the son of the park's famous creators. And when Futureland arrives at its latest stop, Atlanta, Cam is thrilled for what promises to be the biggest opening ever. And then things just turn out to be not quite right. So we're going to go on that adventure, and I'm looking forward to this one. This one is mixed media, as it does have comic stuff in there, comic panels. And so definitely some mixed media in there. I don't know if that's the only, I mean, there's a missing flyer. There is an interview in here. So yeah, so definitely a mixed media, and I think I'll enjoy that. Okay, and are we only going to end up with 5 books this for February as well? I wouldn't mind because it is a shorter month. Let's see. Yes, and we're only doing 5, unless I get a YouTube prompt, which is still popular because I don't know where the next YouTube one is. We'll see what I land on. Because that's a whole nother set of stuff. So a 6 and a 1, so that's 7 spots. It looks like I am missing, I don't know, I may end up on that one, which is YouTube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I spoke too soon. So this is cat videos. So this is one that I have to pull a booktuber that has a TBR game from my TBR jar, and pick books based off of however many prompts it is that they did. Which, with this being January, I'm obviously going to be going off of their January ones, which is always the risk because some people don't put their TBR video up until, you know, a couple days into the month, but I like to have mine at the very end of the month, preceding month. So the February TBR will come out like the last couple of days in January, and not everyone does that. So there's always a chance the game could be based off of, you know, like in this case where this is a February game, it'll be based off of their TBR one, especially where I'm filming it this early. So that is perfectly fine. So we will be doing YouTube. That is obviously not going to be the final roll. And let's see if this is the 5th official final. Okay, so 8, so 5 and a 3. So I don't know if you could see that with the glare very well, but a 5 and a 3. So we're moving 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Litter box, so a book that has an ugly cover or just a cover that I particularly don't care for. And yes, this is the last official roll. And let's go and pick the YouTuber so I can find more books to pick. And then we landed on a YouTube prompt. So we will come back to that one and I'll kind of explain a little bit more on that one. So let's move on to the 5th official roll of the Cat-Walk game, and ended up landing on Litter Box, which is a book that's technically could be classified as an ugly cover, at least in my opinion. Definitely not a cover I gravitate towards. And that's definitely the case with this one. It does not intrigue me. The only reason I bought this book is because I read a book by this author and wanted to read more of their work. Now this is a selection of poems. And the book that I'm picking for this is For the Fighting Spirit of the Walnut. As you can see, it's just a picture of a walnut, so definitely not intriguing. This was written by Takashi Hirati, and this is translated by Sawaku Nakayasu. I'm guessing is how you say that. Could be wrong. But this is just poetry. Now the thing with this one is I only have to read the first half of this book because this other half is written in the original language. So the English translation is just the first half of the book. So there's 111 poems, it looks like, in this, and sometimes there's, you know, 4 per page spread, and they're fairly short. So this will be really quick to get through. And so one, I don't particularly care for the cover, but I also thought, let's grab a short book where I don't know when I pick the YouTuber how many prompts they get from their TBR game, because I do have to pick a book for each prompt, and the goal is to read all of those, and I cannot double up. So there's that. Now, one thing I do want to mention that I want to get hopefully onto this TBR. Either way, I need to read it, because I started, you will have seen the announcement video, but I have created a Discord called Autism Reads, and we are starting in February. And the book we will be reading in February is Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde. When I first read this, I read an ebook, and I really wanted my own physical copy so I could underline some stuff that really struck out to me, or sticks out to me. But I really, really, really want to get this on, and I hope I can fit it on, because I could not fit it on with the prompts that I got from my game. So I hope I can fit this in. So this is the only one left that is a mandatory read so far that I haven't picked out. So let's go ahead and pick the booktuber. So I have my jar. This is full of people that have a channel on BookTube. Some of the people in here may have stopped filming for several months, and I don't know if they're coming back to YouTube. But if that's the case, then I'll just go with their TBR game that's several months old. Now, where I am filming this, again, on January 9th, I'm going to finish this week my TBR for the month of January. So I thought I'm going to go ahead while I'm in the mood to film and film this. So no one obviously has their February TBR up. So when I pull this booktuber, I will be going off of their most recent TBR game that they have published. So it could be from January, and if they haven't posted for several months, it could be several months old. That's just the risk. I do like to have my TBR game at the end of the month before the month for the game. So this is February's TBR game, so this video will be up at the end of January. Some people on BookTube put their TBR videos up the first couple of days into the month of their games, so they'll put their February TBR up in February. So there was always the chance this could be for the previous month. So it could have been for January anyway. So I'm just rambling just to say, yeah, it is going to be for January unless it's older and they didn't do one for January. So let's go ahead and pick a booktuber. And let's go with this one right here. And this is Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me. She does a bingo game. I know her January one is out. I have seen that. I do not remember how many pulls she did. So I'm going to watch her game again for the month of January and write down the prompts. And then I'll pick the books and I'll come back and let you know what the prompts were and my picks for the month of February to fulfill her January TBR game. So I will be back. All right, so I watched Kaylani's January video, and I mean, if Kaylani were to ever happen to see this, I do want to first and foremost say congratulations on your addition to your family, your little bundle of joy, and I hope things went well. Now, and yeah, I hope you have a lot of good memories coming forward for you. So that's really cool. And seriously, congratulations. Now, so Kaylani rolls a multiple-sided dice to determine how many rolls or how many pulls she's going to get for her bingo game. She ended up with 11. Spoiler, she did pull one that was like add one, but then she also, so she would have had 12 books to pick, but then she did get a prompt that had a certain symbol on it or color of symbol that meant 2 minus a book. So she ended up picking 10 books. I have 5 from my TBR. 5, and I can't double up. So that means that's 15 books for me for the month of February. and February is short. So, and some of the books that I picked to fulfill the prompts that Kaylani got are thick. They are thick books. Now, there are still 2 books that I have to pick. So the first thing that she did is a TBR pull. That's what I am going to do. This is my to be read jar. This has some physical and it has some ebooks. So these are all books that I won off of Goodreads that I really need to get to. So let's go ahead and pull one out of here. I'm just going to take it right from the top. No idea what it is. And then I'll add it to my list. So technically that's 16 books to read this month. And I'm going to be reading The Scarlet Pen by Jennifer Ulrich. So let me see if this is an ebook. I don't think this is I think this is an ebook. Okay, now one thing I did notice is this is actually part of a series. And I don't know, and yes, this is one I won from Goodreads, and I entered the giveaway before I realized it was part of a series. I am just now realizing it is part of a series. I don't know if I can read these separate, so this is going to go back into the TBR jar, and I am going to get a hold of the first book in this series, because The Scarlet Pen is book number 12. It's the True Colors series. So let me click this link. Okay, so the first book is called The White City. I need to get a copy of that. This does say this is by Grace Hitchcock. So this is a series written by multiple authors. So this is going back into my TBR jar. And where it's part of a series, if this comes up again, I'll just read the next one in the series. So that's back in there, and let's see what The White City is about. Bonus. Okay, so The White City, I just looked up to see if it would be like $1 or on Kindle Unlimited. It is not on Kindle Unlimited, but it is on Kindle. And today, at least today, I don't know how long it's going to be going, but it's free. So it is, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. There you go, $0. Zero. So I will just click buy now and sign in. So I've got a copy, and now I'll just have to download it to my Kindle when I am ready to read it. Now let's flip back to Goodreads, and I'll tell you what this is about. So again, this is the first in the True Colors series. So this is The White City, and again by multiple authors, and this one was written by Grace Hitchcock. And the synopsis reads, mysterious disappearances taint the Chicago World's Fair. Step into True Colors, a new series of historical stories of romance and American crime. While attending the Chicago World's Fair in 1893, Winifred Wilde believes she witnessed a woman being kidnapped. She tries to convince her father, an inspector with the Chicago police, to look into reports of mysterious disappearances around the White City. Inspector Wilde tries to dismiss her claims as exaggeration of an overactive imagination, but he eventually concedes to letting her go undercover as secretary to the man in question, if she takes her pistol for protection and Jude Thorpe, a policeman, for bodyguard. Will she be able to expose H.H. Holmes' illicit activity, or will Winifred become his next victim? This makes me think of Devil in the White City, which I read that as a nonfiction and thoroughly loved, so I think this will take place in the same area, and this actually sounds really good. So, okay, now, prompt, the first, so that was from her TBR jar poll. So the first official prompt, I am excited for these. I just don't know. I think I'm going to be in for one of the punishments for March. So I'm expecting that, but I'm still going to try to do my best to get through all of these, but I doubt it will happen. Okay, so the next book I need to pick is, or the prompt that Kaylani got was to read a Kindle book. So I've got my own Kindle TBR pulled up here, and I think I will go with this one, maybe? Let me see. How many pages are in this? Book details. 240. Okay, you know, I think I'm going to go with this one. Well, let's see. Okay, I was going to go with a poetry book, but it was like 240 pages. And so I was like, let me just see real quick if there's anything else that I want to read. And I found this book that I do have a copy of on my Kindle, and the Kindle copy is 79 pages. And I really want to read this. So I'm going to go with this. It is the start of a series. This is book number 0.5. So this is like the prequel to the series. And the series is Rolling in the Deep, which is actually the name of the book as well. And this was written by Mira Grant. I have read the Newsflesh series by Mira Grant, or all but one of the books. And I really enjoy the writing as Mira Grant so far. At least I enjoyed that series. I tried, now Mira Grant is a pen name for Seanan McGuire. I tried reading the Wayward Children series and I did not care for that series. I read the first book and I'm not going to continue on with that series. So where this is written under her pen name Mira Grant, I'm hoping I will like this one. And so Rolling in the Deep, this says, when the Imagine Network commissioned a documentary on mermaids to be filmed from the cruise ship to gratis, they expected what they had always received before, an assortment of eyewitness reports that proved nothing, some footage that proved even less, and the kind of ratings that only came from peddling imaginary creatures to the masses. They didn't expect actual mermaids. They certainly didn't expect those mermaids to have teeth. This is a story of the Gratis, lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a hoax, others have called it a maritime tragedy. Whatever the truth may be, it will only be found below the bathyphyletic zone in the Mariana Trench, and the depths are very good at keeping secrets. So I think that sounds really good. The cover is kind of creepy, and I really want to get this. And bonus that it's less than 80 pages. 79 pages, so bonus, that'll be a quick read. Okay, moving on to the physical books that I will be doing. Just to give you an idea, the books that I've selected, yeah, as you can see, there's some thick ones here. Now, let's go ahead and get into this. Again, I don't expect to get to all of these, but if I don't, we'll just get a punishment and for the month of March, so that's fine. Okay, so the next poll that she got was Season-a-thon. Now, Season-a-thon took place in December, so I just went to the Season-a-thon Twitter page and picked one of the prompts from their December round. The prompt that I picked is Reindeer Chow, and that is to read a book that has an animal on the cover or in the story. I'm going with, for animal on the cover, Two Wicked Desserts. As you can see right here, there is a cat. And there's a cat in the story, at least in the first one. Now, I will not be reading the synopsis of this one because this is the second book in a Kitchen Witch mystery, cozy mystery series, and I don't want to spoil the first one. This one does have autism rep in it, at least the first books in this series that I read. This is the second one, but there are some novellas, and they all have autism rep, so if you're looking for a book with autism rep, this series could be good for you. And this gal likes to cook and she has magical abilities. So it's a Kitchen Witch mystery, cozy mystery, standard cozy mystery series. And this one does say it includes recipes. So I look forward to seeing, oh, see the recipes are in the back. Pumpkin cheesecake, dark chocolate Christmas cheesecake, and that's it. So yeah, so hopefully I'll get to this one. Alright, so prompt number 3 that Kaylani got is a 2021 release. For this one, I am picking Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I did read The House in the Cerulean Sea and absolutely loved that book. So this gives me similar vibes, mostly because of the color scheme on this book. And I don't know, I'm really excited for this one. It says, and this is a standalone, so it's not part of a series. But it says, when a reaper comes to collect Wallace from his own funeral, Wallace begins to suspect he might be dead. Well, you think? And when Hugo, the owner of a peculiar tea shop, promises to help him cross over, Wallace decides he's definitely dead. But even in death, he's not ready to abandon the life he barely lived. So when Wallace is given 1 week to cross over, he sets about living a lifetime in 7 days. It says, hilarious, haunting, and kind. Uplifting story about life. About a life spent at the office and death spent building a home. So, I don't know. I think this sounds really cute. And I know this was all the rage when it came out, and I don't remember what people have said about it, but I look forward to this. Okay, so there's that one. Prompt number 4 was a spicy book. And for this one, this is a romance, and I'm expecting this is going to be spicy. Anyway, that's The Worst Best Man. Let me know if you've read this and how explicit it gets. Definitely let me know. And let's see, it says, a wedding planner left at the altar. Yeah, the irony isn't lost on Carolina Santos either, but despite that embarrassing blip from her past, she's offered an opportunity that could change her life. There's just one hitch. She has to collaborate with the best, make that worst man from her own failed nuptials. So, we'll see how that goes. The next poll that she got on her bingo board is to read a book that has rep. This is perfect. This lets me put on Queens of Geek, which is the February read for the Autism Reads book club that I have on Discord. I will link that Discord in the description box. This is February's read, and I am excited. Now, for those of you who don't know what Queens of Geek is about, this does go in 2 point of views. One is from Charlie. Now it says, Charlie likes to stand out. She's a vlogger and actress promoting her first movie at SuperCon. And this is her chance to show fans she's over her public breakup with co-star Reese Ryan. Then, when internet famous cool girl actress Alyssa Huntington arrives, it seemed Charlie's longtime crush on her isn't as one-sided as she thought. So it does have LGBT rep as well. The second point of view, and this is the one from that has the autism, it says, Taylor likes to blend in. Her brain is wired differently, making her fear change. And there's one thing in her life she thinks will never change, her friendship with her best guy friend, Jamie, no matter how much she may secretly want it to. But when she hears about a fan contest for her favorite fandom, she starts to rethink her rules on playing it safe. So, Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde. I'm really excited to get back to that one. All right, poll number 7 is a book that you bought secondhand. For this one, I am going to go with a short book. This is 164 pages, and that's a Fear Street book, and this is The Sleepwalker by R.L. Stine. This one says, 1 week after she starts her summer job on Fear Street with old Mrs. Kotler, Mira Barnes begins to sleepwalk. How terrifying to wake up outdoors in the middle of the night and not know where she is. She becomes even more terrified when she discovers Mrs. Kotler may be a witch. Is it the old woman casting a spell on her to make her sleepwalk? To add to the horror, she is being followed by a menacing stranger who seems to recognize her, but she's never seen him in her life. The sleepwalking is leading her into more and more peril. She soon realizes she must take action. She must find out what is happening to her, or she may never leave Fear Street alive. So, yes, and I did get this one from Amazon, but it is definitely secondhand. The pages are yellowed, it's worn on the ends, and it has a sticker. So it's from a, and it does say right on the back, this is used. So this is definitely secondhand, could be even third or fourth hand, who knows, but definitely at least secondhand. Okay. Poll number 7 is to read an adult fantasy. So this one I have read from this author before. I have read the entire series of The Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. Well, John Gwynne has another series out, and this is an adult high epic fantasy, and this one is Of Blood and Bone, and this is the first book in that series, and that is A Time of Dread. I have been wanting to get to this for a bit. I really enjoy the cover. I am just excited for this one. So I really, really hope to get to this one. It says, brave the shadows, wield the sword. A race of warrior angels, the Ben Elim, once vanquished a mighty demon horde. Now they rule the banished lands, but their peace is brutally enforced. In the south, hot-headed Riv is desperate to join the Ben Elim's peacekeeping force until she unearths a deadly secret. Oh, I think this takes place after the events of the Faithful and the Fallen, and we're getting some of the same characters. Oh, that makes me so excited. Okay, continuing in the west, the giantess Sig investigates demon sightings and discovers signs of an uprising and black magic. Oh, I'm recognizing the names. Okay, and in the snowbound north, Drem finds, now that one I don't remember, Drem finds mutilated corpses on a hunting expedition, the work of a predator or something far worse. It's a time of shifting loyalties and world-changing dangers. Difficult choices will need to be made because in the shadows, demons are gathering, waiting for their time to rise. So, A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. Again, this is the first in Of Blood and Bone. Ooh! Oh, I'm excited for that, especially where I get some characters from the first series. Okay, so prompt number 8 that Kaylani got was to read a sequel. So for this one, I am going with Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is the book. It says book 2 of the Farseer trilogy. In the first book, we are following mostly Fitz, who is the bastard son of a prince, and the prince abdicates his throne, and Fitz is basically raised by a stable master, and then the king sees him as like, you know what, you are of royal blood, but you're still a bastard son, so I can use this to the advantage and train him up to be the royal assassin. So we're following more into that. So that's pretty much all I can tell you, because I don't know what's going to be, and I'm not going to read the back of this because I don't want to spoil the first one. So I look forward to continuing on. And I know there's a bunch of other trilogy offshoots from this, and so this is going to be a long series to read, and I'm not going to buy the next set of trilogies until I finish this, the third book in this particular set. So there's another one, Assassin's Quest, that comes after this. So after I read that, I'll get the next trilogy in this world, and I'm excited for that. So Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. Thick. This is over 500, over 600 pages, 648 pages. So it's a thicker book. Okay. Prompt number 9 that Kaylani pulled for her bingo game is a book by a POC author. This one I thought, while I have the chance, I am going to give myself an easy book. So I am going to go with the third book in the Dork Diaries series. So this was written by Rachel Renee Russell, and Rachel Renee Russell is a POC author. I don't know how long this series is. I've obviously read the first 2, where this is the third one, but it's, let's see, 12 at least books in this series maybe. But this is Tales from a Not So Talented Pop Star. This one is following a middle schooler, and she draws images of her life. So it's like, this is like a journal, and then you're seeing her own doodles of her own life. And so that's it. And it is such a cute series. Rachel Renee Russell, from what I have read so far in this series, has done a really good job. It is very, very cute. And I have through number 5. I have books 4 and 5 after this. And so when I get to book 5, I'll have to order the next like 2 or 3 in this. Because this is definitely one I want to read the whole series. So, got a couple of ongoing series that still are going to take a while to finish, but moving on. So the final prompt number 10 from her TBR bingo game, Kaylani got buzzword. This is like you're going to hear throughout the year. The buzzword goes with Kaylani's buzzword readathon, and Kaylani's from Books on Lala, and so a lot of people are going along with this readathon, and I am trying to as well. I have not read my January buzzword yet, but I went ahead and decided to pick where this is for my February TBR. Let's go ahead and pick a book for the February buzzword. Now, The buzzword for February is verb. So this is just to read a book that has a verb in the title. Now, I struggled in English. I will say that when I was in school. I struggled. So the whole adjectives and verbs and conjunctions and I don't know, all those fancy schmancy English words with all that I struggle with. Now, I think I also deleted it. So let me pull it back up. Yes, I did. So a verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence, and forming the main part of a predicate, no idea what that means, of a sentence such as hear, become, happen, or in this case, lock. Now, lock can be a noun because it can be an actual kind of like a lock and key, but in this case it is not. It will be used as, from that description, it is used as a verb. So this book I am going to be reading is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I have read two other books by Riley Sager. One was okay. I enjoyed it, but I got the Final Girls by Riley Sager, I got confused with the Final Girls Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I got the plot mixed up, and so the version by Riley Sager I was a little disappointed in because I was expecting what was described for the plot for the Grady Hendrix book. So that's my own fault. The other book by Riley Sager that I read is The Last Time I Lied, and I really enjoyed that. So I do enjoy Riley Sager's writing from those two books. So Lock Every Door, people aren't talking about it much anymore, but for those of you who may not know or are new to BookTube and have not heard anyone talk about this, let's go ahead and read the synopsis on this one. It says, these are the only, no visitors, no nights spent away from the apartment, no disturbing the other residents, all of whom are rich or famous or both. Making sure I've still got good battery. Okay. Let's see. These are the only rules for Jules Larson's new job as an apartment sitter at the Bartholomew, one of Manhattan's most glamorous and secretive buildings. Recently heartbroken and just plain broke, Jules is captivated by the splendor of her surroundings and accepts the terms, ready to leave her past life behind. As she gets to know the residents and staff of the Bartholomew, Jules finds herself drawn to fellow apartment sitter Ingrid, who comfortingly reminds her of her sister who vanished 8 years ago. When Ingrid confides that Bartholomew is not what it seems and that the dark history hidden beneath its gleaming facade is starting to frighten her, Jules brushes it off as a harmless ghost story until the next day, when Ingrid disappears. Searching for the truth about Ingrid's disappearance, Jules digs deeper into the Bartholomew's sordid past and the mysteries kept within its walls. What she discovers pits Jules against the clock as she races to unmask a killer, expose the building's hidden secrets, and escape a dream apartment that is quickly turned into a nightmare. So, Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I am really, really intrigued by this, and I think it sounds really good, and I'm really excited. I'm excited for all of these, but this one too. So, that's it for this. That is a total. So, let me tell you. So, that's 10 prompts from Kaylani's TBR bingo game. That is also 1 prompt from her TBR jar pull, which I pulled from my own TBR. So that brings me up to 11 books. And then I have 5 books from my game. So that is a total of 16 books to read for the month of February. I am not holding my breath. I do not think I can read all of these. Now, some of these are going to be a little easier. Thrillers are a little quick to get through. I have the middle grade, or I have 2 middle grades in total. I have a poetry book. I have a short story that's 79 pages. So I do have some shorter ones, but I do have some thicker ones like these two, Time of Dread and Robin Hobb, and these are epic fantasy. So sometimes they feel like they go a little slower because there's more world building and all of that. So 16 books to try to read for the month of February. Again, I'm not going to hold my breath. I really don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see how much I can get through. My goal is to read at least half. So that's my goal. Hopefully, definitely more. So that's 8 books. Obviously, I'll start with the 5 mandatory from my own game, and then I'll go into the books that I picked from watching Kaylani's January TBR game. So I hope to get at least 3 from her channel prompts read. So a total of 8 books. 8 books is definitely doable for me. I can definitely do that. Just depends on stuff. Let me know what you're excited to read. I think out of all of these, I am most excited for A Time of Dread. So I really definitely want to get that one read. That's it. Let me know if you've read any of these. And until next time, oh, and talk to me in the comment section below. Until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later.